experience. And it's really no different than happiness or anger or frustration or confidence or inner peace or whatever. These are all different emotional states, all different feelings that we experience. And in order to experience certain emotional states, there's a certain pattern that we all experience in our bodies, in our minds, and in our language that basically put us in that state of mind of fear and whatever emotions that we have. You know, if you've studied neurolinguistic programming, which I got my practitioner certification not too long ago, it talks a lot about, you learn a lot about emotional states, emotional patterns, and how we are the ones that are in control of these emotions. You know, a lot of people believe that I feel fear and I feel angry and frustrated and all that because of external sources. We believe that it's because of your boss or it's because of this thing or the recession or the economy, and that's just something that triggers it. However, that fear or those emotions are something that you have 100% control over. You have no control over the outside world, but you have 100% control of your inner world and what things mean. You have 100% control of how you decide to use your body, how you decide to use your focus, and how you decide to use your language. And those are all three things that radically change the ways that we feel. So let me ask you a question right now. If you're in that fearful state, if you have fear or anxiety or however you want to describe it, what's your body like when you have fear? Because we all have a certain pattern, and you know, it's a lot of things are very universal, but for some people, it can be a little bit different. But if I were to ask you, if you could remember a time in your life where you felt fear, you felt anxiety, you felt scared to do something, maybe it was a goal, a business, public speaking, whatever it is, you know, if you were to ask yourself, how were you using your body in that moment, what would it be? My guess is that if you're fearful or you're scared, if you were to go back to that moment, your physiology might be, you know, slouched over. You know, maybe you'd be kind of more closed off in your body. Maybe your breathing would be very shallow. You know, what would that expression be on your face? You know, these are all things that affect how we feel. Now, you might think that sounds very simple, and it is, but how we use our body, our physiology, affects how we feel. You know, emotion is created by motion. And so, you know, if you took any person that's scared or fearful, there's a certain physiology to them. There's a certain way they're using their body. Maybe they have tension in their body. Their shoulders are down. Their breathing is shallow. They're looking down. If I were to take myself when I was, young and shy, and you were to say to me, go talk to that girl over there, I would immediately go into a state of fear. And I'd be very shy, and I was very closed off, and I'd be looking down. I couldn't keep good eye contact. My voice would be quiet. There's a certain physiology to that. There's a physiology to the fear. So that's the first thing that I want you to look at, is how are you using your body when you are fearful, when you are scared? The second part is, what do you focus on? What do you have to think about that makes you feel fearful? Because I can almost guarantee that if you have a state of fear and you're accessing that emotion, it's because you're focusing on certain things that are making you feel that way. I'll just use the example of me, trying to talk to a girl when I was younger. So if you were to say, hey, go talk to that girl over there, and I'd be scared and fearful, what would I be focusing on? Well, she's probably not gonna like me. I'm probably gonna get rejected. It's not gonna work out. I'm probably gonna fail. I'm gonna embarrass myself in front of everybody. She probably has a boyfriend. She's gonna tell me to F off. I'd have all these thoughts going through my head, which is what I'm focusing on. The more that I focus on that, of it not working out and the worst case scenarios, the more fear I'm gonna feel. Okay, does that make sense? So your focus is also another core component of what's gonna determine how you feel. But not just your focus, but how you represent things to yourself in your mind. We learned this in neurolinguistic programming, that the images that we make, the size of them, the color, the shape, the distance, all these things that are called submodalities, all amplify or intensify different emotions. Because when you focus on things, you're really just making pictures in your mind, okay? So what do you focus on? What kind of thoughts and things do you focus on to feel that fear? And the third piece is, what kind of words do you use? What kind of language patterns do you use? What do you say to yourself? Oh, it's not gonna work out. She's not gonna like me. I'm not good enough for her. All those words, all those phrases also produce different emotions as well. So when you understand that fear is just a pattern, fear is a state, you have total control of that, and you can shift it, you can change it. And so what I'd like to invite you to do, you can maybe listen to me first, but what I'd like to invite you to do is that anytime you notice yourself experiencing that state of fear and you feel those emotions, is to immediately change those 3 factors that I just mentioned. Okay, so if I were to ask you right now, what's the opposite of fear? Maybe you'd love to experience confidence or certainty in your body. And if I were to ask you, how would you stand or use your body if you felt comfortable, if you felt relaxed, you felt confident and certain? What would that physiology look like? Likely your head would be back, your shoulders up, maybe there'd be a smile on your face, a certain look in your eyes, a way that you're breathing, maybe it's more full. Maybe there's more relaxation in your body, hand gestures, your voice is louder, better eye contact. Again, confidence, certainty, relaxation, there's a certain physiology, there's a certain body language to that also. If you were totally fearless and you're totally confident, what would you be focusing on? What kind of thoughts would you have? Just an example of me trying to go talk to a girl, I'll use that again. I'd probably, if I was confident and relaxed, I'd probably think about, well, she's gonna love me. Why wouldn't she want to meet me? Or, I'm gonna add value to her. I'm gonna make her day better. I'm gonna leave her better off for having met me. Or, I'm amazing. I'm good enough. Everybody wants to meet me. So having a different focus, your thoughts and your focus is much, much different when you're in a state of confidence. And the last piece, what kind of words, what kind of language? So if you're confident, what would you say to yourself? What kind of words or phrases would you use? It might be, I can do this, or this will work out, or I can make this happen. What is the words and the phrases that will empower you as opposed to the ones that limit you? So those 3 factors of your state, your emotions, of this pattern, of how you use your body, your focus, and your language, also known as the triad, which Tony Robbins talks about, as well as in neurolinguistic programming, it's called your emotional triad. What would that be for you if you're confident? And what I suggest for you to overcome this fear is to recognize
seminar, doesn't it? Or worse.
Tony Robbins has arguably
life. It's not so much the conditions of our life that control our destiny as much as the decisions of our life. Try for a second to think about something. Think about your life. And just think about, are there a few decisions? If I were to ask you 2 decisions you've made in your life, that if you would have made a different decision, you would have had a totally different life. I mean, it may be a life may have been better or may have been worse, I don't know, but you would have a different life. I'm not asking you to buy into the fact that you should have known the answers. I just want you to see the power of a decision. How is your life better today because of a decision you made years ago, not just negative ones? Think about it. Sometimes a little decision changes your whole life. Like you decide one day to go to a certain school, and you go to that school, or to go eat someplace, and you bump into the person that becomes the love of your life. Or you meet someone, and you decide as a result of that you're going to become a photographer, or a software engineer, or a business person, or a doctor, a dentist, whatever. They impacted you, but you made the decision, that's what I really want. That's what my life's going to be about. And that decision has affected so much of your life. What you do, how you live your life, how you spend your time, what you earn or don't earn, who you attract into your life, beliefs you have, all come from some of these little decisions. What you decide to eat from your dinner plate each night certainly determines your physical destiny, right? We all know that, at least to a certain extent. I know there's a certain amount that's genetics, but I'm talking about the stuff you and I can control. So decisions equal destiny. It's not our conditions, it's our decisions. So if we want a new life, if we want a new experience, we've got to make new choices. If you don't like the way your career is or your business is, change it. If you don't like your body, change it. You don't like your relationship, change you first, because if you change it, you'll bring you to the next one. Maybe it's time to change it too, but change yourself first. If you want to change anything in your life, you have the choice. So there is no right or wrong. I just want to make you aware in this breakthrough session that everything in our life changes the moment we make a decision, and I mean a real decision. A decision is when you cut off any other possibility and you commit to something with everything you've got and you take action. But the big decisions start with little decisions like, what am I going to focus on? Because whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. If you focus on all the things that have been done to you in your life, of course you're going to feel like hell. If you focus on all the amazing coincidences that have happened, things that maybe they were guided, maybe not, but things happen, and because of that, you met this person that's your best friend, your husband, your wife, or because of that, you have this ability, or because you were there that day, God, you missed an accident. I don't know what it is, but whatever you focus on, you're going to feel. If you focus on people don't care, and you'll look for reasons why they don't care, and evidence they don't care, you'll find it everywhere. If you look for evidence that people are really good people inside, that at some level we all care about each other, you'll find it. Seek and you shall find. The secret is, have you become conscious about your decision making? Because this breakthrough session is, really, you want to change your life, make new choices. New life comes from new choices, but you got to make conscious choices. The people in this particular television special, Melissa and her husband, they really found themselves in a place where they were both making decisions, Melissa and Rick, that were unconscious. When you make decisions about what to focus on and what things mean and what to do, and you're unconscious, you get pretty terrible results usually. Now, we've all done this. I do it still. We all do. But if you want to change your results, you got to become more conscious in your decision making. So think about it. What you focus on, you will feel. Whether it's true or not. You focus on how people don't care, you're going to feel they don't care. Second decision you make is, what do things mean? So you focus on something someone does and you come up with a meaning, and the meaning is, no one loves me. The meaning is, they're trying to take advantage of me. Depending on what meaning you come up with, and you get to choose the meaning of anything. For some people, they say, this situation happened with the economy, and what that means is, I'm going broke. Somebody else said, the situation happened with the economy, guess what? That means I'm gonna work harder, I'm gonna be more creative, it changed everything. Everybody else is gonna quit, so we're gonna dominate the marketplace. For people to do it. Is this the end right now, or is it the beginning? See, whether it's the end or beginning is your choice. You get to decide, because once you make up a meaning, it's true. If you think that this is the end of a relationship, are you going to treat people the same way as if you think it's the beginning of a relationship? No way. In fact, I tell people, if you want to have a great relationship, think about this. Treat people like you did in the beginning of the